Hello there, fellow humans, and now let's have a look at the results of the first Reforged update, because Wargaming might change a few things. Now, obviously, that is only the first Ultra test, so there's going to be a couple more in the future as well. Now, feedback received, biggest problems. What are the biggest problems? The commanders, concerns about the style of the commanders themselves. Basically, Wargaming is considering changing them, is probably going to change them, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter what hair color Olivia has. That doesn't have an impact on the game whatsoever. The fair balance of crew skills and the concerns of the best skills and concerns would be paywalled. Yeah, but that concern is going to persist until the day the game ends, because you can't trust the game company to not do what they said that they won't do, because even in 3 years they might think different. They might introduce pay-to-win commanders then. So always think that this is a temporary feature. Sets and progression, difficulty navigating sets, including the ability to find tanks easily. Yes, the navigation system was absolutely awful. The economy, obviously, just removes steel. Everyone's happy then. A battle UI and navigation. Many found the update interface unintuitive, because it is. Core gameplay issues. Some mechanics, such as tanks losing too much speed when turning, felt unnatural and frustrating. Yeah, because that's just the new engine. FPS drops, optimization problems. That has also something to do, because obviously it's a test client. It has some, feedback features running in the background. So the performance of the real update is going to be better than the test, because it doesn't have those debug features running in the back. So basically, the commanders, some of them are getting shelved and they're getting reworked in some other way. Then we have some improvements there. We're making UI modifications to the sets to look and function more like old tech trays. So again, Wargaming, you deserve no credit for fixing something you fucked up. That's the absolute minimum that can be done, to fix what's been fucked up. That's the minimum. So there's no credit to be earned here for that. That is the minimum to be expected. But obviously now, the look here, basically, the nations are back, which is always should have been the case, and the set markers, or whatever you want to call them, are gone, so that's great. And now you will be able to have a tank researched in the current update, and it also will be researched in the Reforged update. That should have also been a given default. So as for player stats, win rate, average damage, and other key stats, they will be transferred and displayed. Yeah, personally, I would say that the displaying of other players' stats at the end of a battle, for example, is somewhat leading to more toxicity in the game. I don't think it's necessary, but obviously you should be able to see your own stats, because some people, I don't know, they don't feel valuable in life if they can't see their win rate or something like that. So I personally don't care about those kind of things. I don't care about the looks of the commanders either. Also, national crew voices, you can switch back to those. So basically, Wargaming is unscrewing all the things they're screwed up to a certain degree, and that is the minimum they can do at this point. Fixing handling issues, excessive speed loss. Those are kind of things that, or for example, the flying AMXs, those are things that you might only find out when you go into testing, right? So I'm not going to claim that this is something that's terrible, because those are going to happen in testing, right? Things like the UI being absolute dog shit, Wargaming knows that without testing it, or like the commander features and people not liking that, or the UI being utter trash. You can see that without having thousands of players play it. But things like the flying MXs or the excessive speed loss, or for example the game not working on certain devices, you need a lot of testing data for that. So Wargaming does get credit for fixing those kind of things, because you can't fix them without player input, because you need thousands and thousands of battles played to have those show up in a lot of cases. But things like the AI being terrible, that's the best, same thing with the combat UI, like bringing back the traditional green color. This is Wargaming. I'm not giving Wargaming credit for this, because this is not something that they've done well. Like, you did something terrible, you undid the terrible thing. That's the minimum you can do. Improving economy balance, reviewing earnings and prices in other areas to ensure more fair progression, obviously, because now with credits, the currency formerly known as credits, researching tanks with it, obviously you need to rebalance the way tanks earn credits. Now obviously what should be done is you take the current credit coefficient of every vehicle and you translate it to the new system of credit coefficients as well, so that, for example, the Löwe is still going to earn really high credit rate, and the, for example, M48 pattern is going to have terrible credit rate. That's just how it goes. Obviously stability, bugs fixes. I'm not really going to concern myself with those, because again, it's a test. It's supposed to find bugs. So, again, the least Wargaming can do is fix the problems that they've created. That is the absolute least we can ask of Wargaming. We could theoretically also ask of Wargaming to not work with diddlers, but obviously Wargaming has no morality or idea of anything, so they do that anyway, and that is bad. But anyway, so have I got any respect for Wargaming at this point? No. So looking ahead, we know words alone aren't enough. You want to see results. That's why we're focusing on delivering meaningful changes in the next Ultra Test. At the same time, we want to be transparent. The scope of reworks has expanded significantly after gathering your feedback. Here's an idea. If you want to make the whole game different, perhaps ask the people before you're going to do the changes so you don't waste thousands of hours and dollars to make changes that everybody hates. Just an idea. Just ask before, right? Do you want commanders? Do you not want commanders? Just ask that before it's happening. Then you can save yourself a lot of time and trouble. But that didn't happen, right? So we got to turn the game into Fortnite first and make the UI utter trash before slowly rolling it back to something that's acceptable. So foresight is 2025, I guess. Oh yeah, some fixes will take time, not everything will be resolved immediately. Obviously, this is still a test. So again, Wargaming gets no credit for fixing problems they've created, because you shouldn't have created them in the first place. Just transfer the damn game properly. Our goal is clear, to make Blitz better with your input. Well, if you look at, for example, World of Tanks PC and what's happening there right now, I have no hope. We also learned that our communication needs to be better. It also needs to be better not just with the community, but also with the CCs. Because, for example, there are timelines, things that are just randomly announced, moved around. So the communication overall by Wargaming is terrible. So yeah, there are things that shouldn't be happening that are happening with a company that makes billions of dollars. Just saying. So maybe there's not enough people working on it. Maybe the people working on it don't know what they're doing, but the communication is awful. Just like the UI, basically. But here's the thing. Changing the commander's hair color isn't going to actually do anything. It doesn't matter. I want you to still continue to look at the progress, like the unscrewing of the player progress transfer right here. That's, again, a change that's necessary. For example, the new progression system where you need to buy equipment after buying camouflages, that needs to go, for example, or the steel currency also needs to go, because remember, if you have consumables as a standard player, as a casual player, you're never going to upgrade your consumables because the majority of casual players don't actually change the majority of default settings. So have like reset the consumable system to make sense. That is another big change that needs to happen going forward. But generally, yeah, Wargaming, sit down.